We'd like to begin by thanking you for being here to listen to us talk about our experience working with Luma Co. Unfortunately, Julie isn't here to join us, but we're excited to present to you the work we've prepared over the last 4 months, and we'll be providing Julie with a copy of the final written campaign book. Let's begin. We are the faces behind Practical Advantage's Luma Co. team. I'm Ariel Feldon, the Client Services Coordinator.
I'm Kelsey Hyde, the Media Campaign Manager.
I'm Wyatt Logan, the Strategy and Research Planner.
I'm Murali, the Campaign Book Manager and Schedule Manager.
And although our roles specialize in different avenues, we made it a priority to help each other out when needed in order to fulfill our tasks and objectives, which ultimately helped us gain a better understanding of every position's duties. So today, we'll be sharing more about who our client is, their audience, the client's needs, which we've analyzed through the client consultation and research. We'll also be discussing the goals set in place and resources we've utilized to achieve those goals. In addition, we'll be sharing the outcomes of each goal and how we've measured our success. Finally, we will discuss the next steps of our recommendations for Luma Co.'s future endeavors. In order for you to fully understand more about our client, Luma Co., we're going to discuss more about the background of the company. Luma Co. is a minimalistic homeware brand based in Orange County, California. The company was founded by Julie Chu, and Luma Co. provides handcrafted home decor pieces, candle holders, and candle accessories made by artisan craftsmen such as master glass blowers and ceramicists. The brand offers a small variety of products due to their commitment for offering high quality, one-of-a-kind products rather than producing for mass distribution. In 2020, Luma Co. began their business pursuit through Etsy, an e-commerce company focused on providing handmade or vintage items from small businesses. In early 2021, Luma Co. transitioned their focus to building their own channel and selling directly through their own website. During the client consultation meeting, founder Julie Chu communicated Luma Co.'s needs by building Luma Co.'s brand awareness with the use of social media and organic search engine traffic, and increase the marketing efforts to attract and retain customers by producing more enticing content such as imagery, copy, and videos. The client consultation meeting also revealed the difficulty in pinpointing Luma Co.'s biggest competitors due to the number of homeware brands out there, including big box chains such as West Elm, CB2, HomeGoods, and small boutiques selling on Etsy, Amazon, and Instagram. After our client consultation meeting, we concluded our focus and goal was to increase followers on social media, specifically Instagram and Pinterest. Another goal would be to produce more e-newsletters to increase customer relevancy and drive repurchases. And finally, we strive to increase the organic website traffic from search engines. Now, I'll discuss the findings of our SWOT analysis. For internal strengths, we found that Luma Co. holds a strong product line that carries one-of-a-kind, handcrafted, artisan-made pieces that are not only gorgeous, but also functional. The company's branding is simple yet sophisticated, aesthetically pleasing for their packaging, their website, and their photography. Also, the product demand is strong due to the unique, luxurious designs, in which we found at times that demand for the product sometimes would outweigh the supply. Finally, another strength would be the amount of social proof provided by existing customers on the website and social media. We found that there are many positive customer testimonials on their e-commerce platform, which shows their credibility in creating a good product. Now, for some internal weaknesses, we found because Luma Co. is still a small business that's entering a saturated marketplace, it will be difficult for them to penetrate. Additionally, we found that the brand carries a very small selection of products for possible customers. We were also made aware that the product inventory is very limited and finite due to the products being handmade one by one, causing them to often sell out. Lastly, because the inventory count is small, the company finds themselves in no position to be gifting PR packages to industry gatekeepers and influencers. Now for the external opportunities facing Luma Co., we realized that the B2B sector would be a really good position for the brand to gain more exposure. by targeting the hospitality industry, such as restaurants, retail stores, and hotels. Another opportunity that the brand can utilize is the public's demand for videos, with the rise of TikTok and Instagram declaring that they're now a video sharing platform opposed to solely an image sharing platform. Videos are prioritized and are able to reach more impressions. Another opportunity would be the pandemic stay-at-home initiative has driven the desire for everyone to create a better at-home living environment. So this is a great chance for the company to aid in making a space feel more comfortable. Finally, the company can utilize the holidays coming up to offer great gift ideas. Also, they can use this as an opportunity to reach out to bloggers or influencers to be featured in their gift guides. And now for the external threats that can be an issue for the company. There is a vast amount of competitors on the market, like big box chains offering handmade artisanal products for cheaper prices, like IKEA, or individual sellers on Etsy, Instagram, and Amazon. Another threat we found would be the supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic and the ongoing shipping container delays. Finally, another threat would be the amount of new businesses constantly emerging and competing for consumer attention. Now I'll hand you over to Kelsey to discuss our key audiences.
So for our key audiences, they were a bit like what we expected when we were doing our research prior to working with Julie. And it was to include those that enjoyed high-end glassware and ceramic companies that provided an elegant and classy addition to one's home. And also that as a small business, Luma Co had to continue to impress customers with the quality that people expected from previous launches. We found that this was especially true when looking at the Shopify, when we could see the results on who is buying this and who is purchasing and who are new buyers and who are repeat buyers. That's led to us putting an importance on customer loyalty, because we know that the loyal customers are producing most of the revenue for Luma & Company. And so over here, we have some pictures of what our key audiences look like. They are either baby boomers or millennials, and they are educated, and they're people that either work from home or they value their home time quite a bit. And they're people that have the money to pay for these high-end luxury products. This was also shown with the feature on the Every Girl that Luma & Company got. And that is an ultimate online source for creative and career-driven women to buy products that fit their lifestyle. Some of the psychographics about this key segment is that they prefer to purchase high-quality items rather than mass quantities of cheaper items. They are career-oriented individuals. They're introverted and people that like to stay home. They're aesthetic-oriented, and they like to support small businesses. And Wyatt will be going over our next portion of our presentation.
So our proposed strategies for Luma & Co. Initially started off with social media. That was generally our main focus, the forerunner, the first place thing that we wanted to focus on. We attempted to increase our social media post engagement, specifically on Instagram, through the usage of hashtags. Luma & Co. already had a professional photographer that would provide pictures for their Instagram account. Now we would also try to do this on Pinterest as well, but we would assimilate all of our Instagram content onto the Pinterest to make them very similar, to provide a similarity through both platforms. Through the hashtag functions on Instagram, there were multiple different ways to try to attract an audience, though on Pinterest, it was primarily focused with the quality of the actual post, just based on how that platform works. Next, we wanted to utilize the email lists. Julie was very interested in that because she believed heavily in their conversion rates. So we attempted to produce a series of separate newsletters for different email campaigns, generally focused on the holiday season. We would focus on Thanksgiving first, and then the in-between, sort of that Black Friday in-between time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then the Christmas season, the Christmas holiday. We created multiple drafts, and they were incorporated to produce the final products of the emails, and they were also placed on Shopify, though these campaigns were never utilized. We wanted to collaborate with other influencers on Instagram primarily. Instagram was a huge focus for this project. We produced a list of Instagram influencers that weren't too not known, but weren't too well known, that were in a reasonable range to try to help Luma Co grow if that was the route that we were able to take. But we hoped to reach out to these people and do some sort of collaboration so both parties benefit. The list of potential influencers remained unutilized. We also wanted to focus on search engine optimization. Julie, at the beginning of the process, was very interested in that, so we started doing research on that. It was desired to essentially draw more traffic to the website and to the product, so people looking for one thing could eventually stumble upon Luma & Company on Google or on other search engines and such. But this was focused on primarily at the beginning, and then was rather quickly phased out once there was a heavy focus on the social media aspect. So in total, we focused on email campaigns, search engine optimization research, and heavy amounts of hashtag research, specifically geared to social media heavily. The communication tools we utilized were Instagram and Pinterest. Luma Co's own channels were their website and their email list. And the organic search engines like SEMrush and Google Keyword Research offered what we needed for the SEO.
So for the resources that the team used, these were specifically provided by the team. So we set up Luma & Co's LastPass account as well as their Asana account, and we used these to keep track of any progress that the team made. So for LastPass, we gave them access to that so they could input any passwords that we needed as a team to have access to their Pinterest and Instagram and their Leader and Shopify. And Asana was so Julie could see the progress that we had as a team in any of the content that we were creating. We used Google Suite, Outlook, and Zoom to keep in contact with Julie. Google Suite, we also used to keep any of the content we made in Google Drive folders, any notes that we had during Zoom meetings, and any research that we did. We used Photoshop and Canva to create any assets that were asked for. So the Instagram stories, Instagram posts, Pinterest boards, etc. And we also used Instagram and Pinterest to do research on how Luma & Co was engaging prior to us having access to the Instagram accounts and Pinterest. And then after receiving the access to these accounts, we use Shopify's, mainly Kelsey and Wyatt use Shopify for the newsletters and the SEO. We use Later to have access to the unused images that Julie wanted us to use and create content with. And then we used Pinterest and Instagram to engage with their followers. And so with the calendar, we mainly focused on phase 2 through phase 3. And this is where we were creating the actual content, such as the Instagram stories, doing the research, the hashtag research, the database. And we wanted to have weekly posts, but obviously this wasn't able to be done due to the lack of approvals. And so for our campaign goals, we wanted to increase the Instagram and Pinterest engagement by 10% to increase brand exposure on social media for Luma & Co. We also wanted to create an email template that came out frequently, and we specifically wanted to focus on the holidays, like Wyatt mentioned. And we also wanted to do SEO research for the company and implement it. However, this wasn't we weren't able to do this because of the lack of approval. So we wanted to still share what the team was able to create. And so Ariel will be sharing her part in the project.
Thank you, Morelli. Here we have the campaign outcomes for our Instagram post specifically. Our team collected unused assets through the brand's own Google Drive and edited all images using the custom brand filter and made additional photography adjustments using Photoshop. In total, we proposed about 25 different combinations of images, including captions and hashtags. To the left, you'll see the 4 sets of our mock grid setup. And on the right, we have the screenshots of the spreadsheets we used to organize the assets, including captions and hashtags. Additionally, we compiled a separate hashtag list with over 200 hashtags, divided it into different categories such as brand-specific hashtags, interior design, wellness, holiday, and niche hashtags. And on the spreadsheet created, we've left spaces on for the scheduled date and time and notes. However, none of those were filled in by Julie due to her not approving our deliverables. And here you'll see some samples of our Instagram story templates created to act as a guideline for the brand to use going forward. These stories are made using Canva and have been created to be easily edited to insert new images of products that they like to promote. After submission, we didn't receive any feedback from Julie regarding the quality of this work. One thing to note, however, is that we recently noticed that the brand used a couple of these story templates on the brand's Instagram story, but we still didn't receive the approval that we desired. And here we have another campaign outcome. This is our creative brief. We created this to offer guidance for our team when creating social media content. In the multi-page PDF document, we included the brand's content pillars and the reasons as to why it was relevant to the brand. During one of our meetings with Julie, she described her desire to include more textured graphics and interior design images to repost from professional interior design or architectural accounts. We included samples of textured graphics created using Canva to use as a filler image to break up from the Instagram grid of continuous product promotions. Furthermore, we also created a page that showcased specific posts from accounts that we found fit the brand's image. So we may share it with Luma & Co.'s Instagram page in hopes of gaining more attention from the large interior design accounts. Ultimately, this creative brief was met with a standstill with no constructive feedback from the founder.
So with Luma & Co.'s website, they do have a blog portion where they share tips and tricks on what you can do with the products that they offer. So while we talked with Julie, we did agree that we wanted to give more attraction to that part of the website because they did have a writer, and obviously if they're paying for someone, they want the content to be seen. So we agreed to create Instagram stories to promote the blogs. And so here we have two sets of Instagram stories. So the first one was how to style your candles, and then the other one was tips and tricks to decorate your home during the fall using various items and items from Luma & Co. So these were stories that we created. And then we also wanted to touch on Pinterest. And so we used Instagram posts that were already up on their Instagram. As Julie mentioned, she did want to reuse all the content that they already had published. And so we created 3 different Pinterest board examples. The first one we have is home decor inspired, or inspirational board. And this features a lot of the products that they have. Then we also have the soft home decor inspiration, and this is compiled of images that have similar color tones, such as the pinks, the peaches, and the white tones. And we also wanted to have a Pinterest board during the season of fall, and so that's why we have the pumpkins and as well as the candles and the products that they offer. And then we also wanted to repurpose the Instagram stories. So we created infographics for Pinterest. And here we have different sets of the infographics. And as you can see, we do have 2 of similar styles, but they were repurposed or drafted based on Julie's comments, but they were still not approved. And then prior to doing any of the Pinterest work, we did do some research. So how Pinterest works, the pins, the boards, and how the keyword utilization works. So then we also created potential keywords, and we got these from other Pinterest accounts that had similar content to Luma & Co. And we also created a list of accounts that have the same content.
We also provided a lot of Instagram hashtag research for the focus on social media platforms, specifically for Instagram and a little bit for Pinterest. But on the Instagram hashtag research, it was primarily a master list of trying to produce a longevity for your Instagram account, how you can actually progressively grow through the use of hashtags, them being too large, them not so large, vetting them as you go, finding whatever you need. Everything is adaptable, changeable. It's all very flexible, but there is still a guideline, almost sort of like a crisis communications plan, but except for your Instagram. The one thing that stood out though in this research was the consistency and the endurance of the posts and the upkeep of the actual account, almost like house cleaning. And I'll pass this over to Kelsey.
And over here are some of our newsletter examples. These are just 2 out of the 3 that were done. These were the ones that were close enough to finished. The final products were deleted off of the Shopify, so I do not have proof of those. So these are just a few of the drafts after they've gone through many edits from Julie. The one on the left was supposed to be the fall newsletter, and the one on the right was supposed to be sent out for the holidays, especially around Black Friday. It had their Black Friday sale in there. And those were supposed to help keep those existing customers to make sure that they repurchase with Luma & Company, and especially remember them for the holidays. And so some things that were really important to us was to have a successful plan of attack for Luma & Company so we could help them grow their client list and more sales from current engagement on social media. Unfortunately, none of that happened and came to fruition because none of our content was used. We were trying to get engagement on platform and like Pinterest and Instagram, and we did engage on those in the comments and within the direct messages of Pinterest and Instagram, like Julie wanted us to, but she ended up deleting all of our comments on there. We believe that we would have saw engagement on new posts and see how they translated into transactions because we did so much research on it, and we wanted to increase website traffic numbers and the click-through rate with the SEO research, but unfortunately that did not happen. So some of the suggestions our team has gathered going forward with Luma & Company is we wish them the best on their communication endeavors and learning how to communicate a little bit better, and hope that in the future they have a clearer idea of what they would like specifically done, so then they could give notes to their future team. And we wish them nothing but the best, and we hope that they could find a way to use our work in some shape or form. Thank you very much.